How does the Orthodox Church understand forgiveness? What does it really mean to forgive someone?
Oh, wow. You're going right into the hard subjects, huh? Well, we know that forgiveness is at the core of the Christian tradition. I think you'd be really hard-pressed to find a Christian tradition that doesn't talk about forgiveness, because it's in the Lord's Prayer. The Lord says, when you pray, pray this way. And if God himself is telling us to pray this way, then we ought to pray that way. And in it, he says, forgive us our debts or our trespasses as we forgive those who are indebted to us or have trespassed against us. And so if God is telling us to ask him to forgive us how we forgive others, and so we really want to know, what does that mean? What does it mean to forgive? And this forgiveness is impossible for humans to do. It is only possible by the grace of God. And I try to remind people and remind myself that forgiveness that we offer to those who have harmed us, to those who have injured us, transgressed against us, that forgiveness is the same forgiveness of Jesus Christ on the cross. It's his forgiveness working in us that allows us to forgive others. And so we see Christ on the cross, and he pleads with his Father, forgive them for they know not what they do. And in that phrase, we see him interceding on our behalf, on behalf of those crucifying him. And in the Eastern Orthodox Church, we don't just say that the Jews and the Romans crucified Christ, we say we all have crucified Christ. I have crucified Christ. And so when he says that to the Father, he's asking that on my behalf. Father, forgive Peter, for he knows not what he does. And so the forgiveness for us then is where we begin to let go of what people have done to us. But that happens when we start to intercede on their behalf. And we say, Lord, forgive them, for they know not what they do. Even if we think they know what they were doing and it was intentional, we still say, do not hold this against them. Do not, at the final judgment, do not hold what they did against me. You're essentially their lawyer, interceding on their behalf, just as Christ intercedes on our behalf. And if we can do that for our enemies, or for those that wronged us, then we can become more like Christ and receive more of his forgiveness. And in this way, as we forgive, we are forgiven, because we acquired his forgiveness in our lives. And it doesn't mean that we become best friends with them again, we invite them over at Thanksgiving, but it means that we don't hold it against them, and we don't ask God to hold it against them. We don't let them re-victimize us, so to speak. We have some distance from them, but at the same time, we ask God to have mercy on them and save them.